Wow, there's a lot of long-armed people here today. Holy moly. Did you get a group rate or something? Well, anywho, hi, my name is Kristen, and welcome to Life with Short Arms. I am your host, the one with short arms. For those of you who can't see me, I'm a white woman. I'm wearing a dress. I have blonde, shoulder-length, wavy hair. I'm wearing dark frame glasses. My nails are painted hot pink, and my arms are quite short. What's it like to have short arms? Well, it's wild. People have this fascination with anything that looks different. I often get asked, why do you have short arms? What I want to know is, why do people care? When I was younger, I felt I needed to explain my disability. I would go into my usual spiel, telling them that I was born with a rare genetic disorder that made my arms short, and I also have low platelets. But now I'm older, and I no longer share my syndrome name because I understand my rights to my own privacy. My worth is not measured by the length of my arms. But sometimes for fun, I make up stories about my short arms. I tell them that someone put me in the dryer and my arm shrunk. For the record, no one put me in the dryer. And as Lady Gaga would say, I was born this way. How did all of you get dressed this morning? I got dressed with a dressing stick. I think I deserve a medal for wearing pants every day. I was 5 years old when I was first introduced to a dressing stick. I was immediately uninterested. I lived with my mom and dad. Why would I learn how to dress myself? When I was 10 years old, I tried out artificial arms. The arms were attached at the shoulders to a vest. I looked like a linebacker. I really thought that was my ticket to fitting in. I was going to have long arms, just like everyone else, and everything would be great. I was wrong. It was terrible. So I gave them up. After that, I was mad at the world. I was sad. I remember being in the school bathroom, looking at myself in the mirror, crying. And then something clicked. I had the most important pep talk with myself. I said, "Kid, you better get it together because this is going to be a very long life with short arms. So how about we just get over it and move on with our lives?" So that's what I did. When I was 15 and a half, I went to get my learner's license. Getting your driver's license was a rite of passage, living in a small town, when our favorite pastime was going for a cruise down Main Street. Unfortunately, the person working there that day wasn't exactly supportive of short arms driving a car. In fact, they looked at me and said, "Well, at least you have fingers on the ends of those stubs of yours." I don't tell you that story so you'll feel sorry for me. I tell you it because it's important to know that every person with a disability will have a story like that. Someone in our life said the most awful thing, and it becomes a part of our journey, part of our bravery, part of our resilience. Fast forward to 17, and it was time to go to university. I was moving from a small town to the big bad city. I still wasn't dressing myself, so I had to learn that quickly because moving day was coming soon, and I couldn't figure out how to do up the button on my jeans. It was 2003. Leggings and yoga pants didn't exist just yet. Mariah Carey had made low-rise jeans real popular. And there I was, wearing sweatpants that we had ordered from the Sears catalog. When certain friends were around, they would do up my jeans for me. When they weren't around, it was sweatpants for me. Then one day my crush asked me to go for brunch at the cafeteria on a Saturday. My first thought was, well, what will I wear? My second thought was, will anyone be around to do up my jeans? No, no one was around. So that morning, I got up really early. I made a plan. I got my dressing stick, my button hook, my jeans. I was ready. I was trying so hard, but this button hook was not working. I was mad, I was sad, I was sweating profusely, and I start to mentally prepare myself that I am not getting this button done up. I threw my dressing stick and my button hook down on my bed, and I gave up. But then I collect myself, and I thought, let's try one more time. This time, the button hook pushed through the buttonhole, it looped around the button, and I pulled through. And I did it. It finally worked. I'll never forget that day. The jeans were flared with a very light pinstripe. I was wearing a baby blue t-shirt and a baby blue fleece vest. Performance fleece was very popular back then. Learning how to do up the button on my jeans will forever be my greatest accomplishment. That day taught me a lot. It taught me that life is hard, that I would be mad and sad, and that I would want to give up, and I would give up. But then I would find the strength to try again, and I would succeed. I still don't know how I was so brave, how I had the guts to go for it. I'll admit, I failed linear algebra, and I got a D in psychology. But that first year, I learned how to drive a car in the city and how to do up the button on my jeans, so I'd call that a win. So what is it actually like to have short arms? It's hard. And it feels like such a relief when I can say that out loud. I don't think that people really understand how easy it is to become affected by disability. You or someone you know will develop a disability at some point in your life. We've all been around the dinner table where someone starts the conversation off with sharing news, how they've been personally impacted by disability. It goes a little something like this. Chris was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. Dawn's daughter was injured in a motor vehicle accident and will use a wheelchair from now on. Or Sarah was born with a limb difference and a hole in her heart. We say that's sad news to hear, but what's your plan when that becomes your news to share? Will you have to move because your home is no longer accessible to fit your new disability? Will you have to renovate the doorways, the kitchen, the bathroom to fit your needs? Will you be able to continue working? Or will you have to apply for long-term disability benefits? When you have a disability, people have zero expectations of you. But at the same time, all of the expectations. I get dressed with a stick. I get my groceries delivered. I pick things up off the floor with my feet. Yet I am still expected to keep up with all of the long-armed folks with having a job, paying the bills, cooking supper, cleaning the kitchen afterwards. It's hard. And there are still people who will constantly tell me that they don't even notice my short arms because I am so capable. To be completely honest, I'm tired. But you can't really say that out loud because it will make people feel uncomfortable. But I feel uncomfortable all the time. It's okay to have a disability. I promise you. 27% of Canadians over the age of 15 have a disability. That's 8 million people. And yet we are still shy to talk about it. I want you to look to the person to your right, then the person to your left, and then the person behind you. Statistically speaking, one of you has a disability, whether that's a visible disability or an invisible disability. People with disabilities want the same things you do. We want to get an education. We want to fall in love. We want to travel, ideally without anyone staring at us, without anyone saying, we're so brave, we're so inspirational. You can see my short arms, so you can assume some of the barriers that I face every day. But I can guarantee that you have a colleague who silently puts on a mask every day and doesn't share their disability because they fear judgment or discrimination. You probably think they're socially awkward, but really, they're neurodivergent. You might have a friend who has severe tinnitus. They have constant ringing in their ears, and they can barely hear you. Luckily, they've learned how to read lips. So, as long as you're looking directly at them, they can understand you. So, here's a thought. Stay with me. What if we just prioritize accessibility in our everyday and we embrace it so people have access to live their lives? Now, what happens after today? I hope that you think of me. I don't think that you'll repeat my stories word for word, but I hope that you take along the message. And when you're out and about, living your life, most likely with your long arms, you take a quick scan around and think, would this be accessible for short arms? And when I say short arms, I mean the collective of folks with disabilities. I hope that you think of us, because I will think of you. When I was a little girl, people would ask me what I wanted to be when I grew up. My answer was always happy. I knew I wanted to stand on a stage and tell my short arm stories in hopes of trying to change the world, to make it different, to add a new lens on how you perceive the world. So thank you for being a part of that. To the people with disabilities, I want you to know that I see you, I hear you, and I promise I will never give up on you. The future is accessible. It has to be. And I'll be there. And I hope that you will be too. And together, we will make the world more accessible. And I look forward to that. Thank you so much.